to Vegan Date Night. I'm your host, Kelly, and tonight I'm going to be making a Thanksgiving meal. Hopefully you stick around and enjoy. Here's all the ingredients you'll need. All the ingredients will be listed in the description. I'm going to start with the kale and the sweet potatoes first. Drop the kale into the water, which you added all the seasonings to once it was boiling, and then stir it periodically as everything else cooks. This will be the last thing you take off the stove. After about 15 minutes, drain your sweet potatoes and then move on to making the sauce for them. All it is some avocado oil, brown sugar, cinnamon, and then stir it all together and then dump those sweet potatoes in. Once you're done stirring, just transfer them over to an oven-safe pan and then stick it in the oven that's already preheated at 350 degrees. Now for the mac and cheese sauce, all you do is start with the avocado oil and flour roux. Once that starts to brown, add your almond milk. Once that bubbles, add in your seasonings and then add the cheese, let that thicken, and then dump it onto your elbow noodles that were already cooked. I like to add a little salt and pepper before I add the sauce on. So once you add the sauce, then you mix it in, add some more of the pepper jack shreds in, and then throw the mozzarella on top, stick it in the oven that's already preheated with the yams inside, and throw that in there until everything else is complete. And then you take it out when everything is done on the stove. Next, for the fried turkey breast, you're gonna add your corn, vegan meat pieces into the food processor, add all of your seasonings, blend it up until it's a crumbly type of texture. Add it to a bowl, add some flour to bind it a little bit more, and then you're gonna put it all into a foil, shape it into the shape that you like, and then put it in the freezer. I actually did this step second so that it has time to form in the freezer. So if you want to do this first, if not, it doesn't take too long to freeze. Once you take the turkey out of the freezer, make sure to add flour to both sides before frying. After about 30 minutes, take it out of the freezer and drop it in the nice hot oil. Let it fry on both sides for about 5 to 8 minutes, depending on how crispy you want it. And that's it. Once the kale is nice and tender, take everything out the oven. I tend to stir my mac and cheese because I can't get that crispy top that I like, but yet it's still nice, delicious, and creamy. Stir it up, stir the yams, get the kale, stir it up a little bit more, and you have your fried turkey, and then you're all set. Hello everyone, welcome back. So today I have with me my boyfriend Ron.
How you doing, everyone? Hello.
So since I didn't introduce myself earlier, we can just tell you a little bit about ourselves now and what you'll be expecting in the near future from us. All right, so I'm Kelly. This is Ron. We've been together for a little bit over 4 years now. We have one child together. Ron has 3 kids from a separate relationship, a past relationship. I'm from Queens.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, so we're both from New York, but we just recently moved to Texas. A big move for us, but
Definitely.
we just bought a home, so we're excited about that. And now we're just starting a new venture with this channel. So hopefully in the near future, you'll be seeing a lot more videos from us and hopefully enjoy our conversations. So what we'll be doing now is first I'll be cooking in the beginning of our videos, and then after we'll be sitting down having our date night. and all our meals will be vegan. We are not truly vegan, but we do adapt to a vegan lifestyle. We still do eat fish once in a while, but other than that, most of our meals are vegan. So I guess today what we'll do, just to let you get introduced to us, we'll just start by doing a little game of questions that you'll get to know us, and we'll get to know a little bit more about each other as well. All right, while we're eating.
So, are we gonna ask a question first, or are we gonna start eating and then?
All right, I'm gonna eat first because the food's getting cold. Our little one didn't want to go down to sleep, but she just fell asleep, so we're about to eat. So, also, this is a Thanksgiving episode. We don't really celebrate Thanksgiving, but we do celebrate with our families as far as traditional meeting up, having a nice meal. But that's really about it. Ron doesn't really celebrate the holiday in general. I do with my family because I love the tradition. So we have vegan mac and cheese, kale greens because Ron prefers kale over the collard greens.
Yes.
I prefer collard greens over kale, but in our house, we mainly do kale. I don't think we've done collard greens in a long time, probably a couple of years.
Probably once or twice.
Yeah, so we got a fried turkey as well, and then some sweet potatoes. He calls them yams.
Yeah, candy yams.
Yeah. So.
But it's good though. It's really good.
All right, you said you want to ask questions, so.
Yeah. So, all right. The first question is, if you had one day to live, what would you do?
If I had one day to live, I'd probably just invite all my family over and just spend the day with them, like cook our favorite foods, have great conversation, probably do like something where all our memories get passed on to our younger ones. I don't know, something fun, so I'm not thinking about it being my last day. And I want to spend that with my family.
Okay.
What about you?
I had one day to live. I would definitely want to spend time with all my children. I like to see my parents. And I think I'm gonna go with something that I wouldn't have done if it wasn't my last day alive, but I'm gonna skydive. I'm gonna lay it all out there.
He's not going to skydive.
Last day, gotta do it all.
We talked about it before, and he said he didn't want to go skydiving.
And I did just say that. I said if it wasn't for the fact of being my last day, I wouldn't do it.
Well, you knowing it's your last day, maybe?
Huh?
Like, because you know it's your last
Yes,
day?
yes.
Oh.
Is the reason why I would do it. Like, at that point, it's like, why fear it when, you already know death is coming for you. So I'm willing to do things that I wouldn't have normally done.
So what if you knew that that was the day you're going to die? So let's say they just give you a date you were going to die, right? And then on that date, this is how you're going to go skydiving. And what if you going skydiving is what makes you die?
That's cool.
Then you caused your own death.
Yeah, but I was going to die anyway. They already said
But
it.
if you decided not to go skydiving, you probably would have lived.
But you're saying that if something goes wrong with the skydiving.
Yeah, but
So
your
that-
last day. So what if that causes your death?
I'll
Then
be
your
cool.
family's gonna be like, "Oh, we shouldn't have gone skydiving," and they're gonna think about skydiving. Nobody's ever gonna go skydiving.
No, I'm gonna write a note first to let everybody know if this doesn't go right, do not hold this, as a bad thing against yourself. It wasn't your fault. This is what I wanted to do. The next question is, what would you do if you won $10,000?
If I won $10,000, honestly, I would just save some, invest some, and then pay off some of my debts. I mean, probably not my student loan because that was 1 year that cost $40,000, and now I owe more than I took out. So I wouldn't even put anything towards that.
Student loans ain't no joke, man. It's part of the game.
So the reason I only have 1 year of student loans is because I went to school for free for my first 4 years from playing basketball. But then I decided to do my master's in England. Decided to do my master's in England, so I paid for that 1 year. So now I'm in debt because of 1 year of doing my master's. But at least I got my master's that I'm not doing anything with. That's not making me any money. But anyway, what about you?
But being that you're speaking your experience, that happens a lot though. So a lot of people go to school, get masters, get doctorate, and they take out more than 1 year worth of loans, and they graduate with the highest degrees, but like 150,000 in debt, and they don't even, the chances of them actually getting a job making $100,000 a year is, less than likely. So that's just part of the school system and how it works. But if I won $10,000, it's definitely going all in the stock market.
You hear how he said all, right?
I made sure to say all.
To each their own.
So, where would you most like to go on vacation?
I really want to go to Fiji, but I think if I had the choice, it would be a tie between Fiji and Egypt. I want to go to Egypt. I want to see the pyramids and everything, but I also want to go to Fiji just to relax and just do nothing. Just go to a resort that's on the water and just literally do nothing. Just lay there. But I do want to go to Africa, so I'm kind of torn. What about you?
I have a few places I really want to go. Africa is definitely one of them.
You know what part?
Yeah, I want to go to Senegal. I also want to go to Egypt. And to be honest with you, when we make the trip, I would definitely like to tour more than 2-3 destinations.
Like in Africa?
Yes. While we're in Africa, go to several different. I want to go to the Ivory Coast. Yeah, so I would have,
So you would choose Africa?
Yeah, by default, I gotta put Africa first. There's a lot of other places I would like to go to, but Africa gotta be at the top of the list. I always feel like a trip to Africa is gonna spiritually do something for me. Like just being back in a place where, our ancestors.
I didn't understand that.
Our ancestors derived from, and all that history that's there. I love to be a part of that and just feel that energy.
I agree.
All right, let's get into some personal stuff. What do you like most about me?
Where do I start? I don't know. I think it's a tie between your passion and your love for your kids. I think that's what really stands out the most. When you're passionate about something, you really put your all into it. And sometimes I feel like you get passionate about a lot of stuff at the same time, so you don't know how to spread things out.
Yeah, you hit it
correctly.
Right on the head.
So once you
she called it, y'all.
Narrow,
she called it.
Once you're able to narrow it down, I think things will open up for you a lot more.
I'll be all over the place, and I'm not gonna lie. So we can get right to it. Obviously, you can tell she's way more organized than I am, way more structured than I am. But you know,
I didn't understand that.
I think that's what makes us so compatible. Is that yin and that yang, you know. I would say what I like most about you is your love for family.
Trying to
You,
steal my answers.
whatever. You being just a sweet, honest, loving person, like in general. And that what I love is that you complete the areas of me where I'm bad at. If I
Like what?
That's what I could say. Like for example, organizing, structure, planning. You're a way better planner than me. So yeah, things like that.
I can agree. We definitely, I would say we're opposites.
Yeah.
We butt heads a lot, but our communication allows us to get past those humps, I would say. So,
I agree.
and my patience.
Definitely. She had more patience than me too.
If you can tell, I'm not a big fan of sweet potatoes. They're good, but I just don't like sweet foods. I don't know. They're good though.
They definitely good.
Last time I made them with like 2 cups of sugar, some agave, and I'm like, oh, these are good. He's like, oh, these are not sweet enough. I'm like, what? So I had to add some syrup to it.
That was good, man.
Thanks.
So,
So we're probably gonna do 2 more questions.
here's a question. Would you be willing to stay home with the kids while I work?
Definitely. For me, I mean, I want to be able to have the biggest influence in my children's lives. I don't know. My mom worked when we were younger, but when we got older, it was just her at home. So just that alone and just how loving she was and caring for all of us and doing all the things that she did, that's something I admired. And I know nowadays women don't really, I'm not going to say that. Nowadays, a lot of women work and, well, that's because how the economy is in general, but, you know, there's more things of why women work and have the power to work and are so successful, but I do like being at home. My daughter, even though she's in her terrible 2 stage, but you know, that's kind of when I admire when I was younger, even though, you know, I do love to work, but I know that being home with my kids and seeing them grow and being there for every step of the way, that's something that I would love, but also I understand that that's not really the biggest possibility at all times. And I don't know, I think more so because that's how my father was as well. Like, he worked all the time and was always there for like our games and whatever it was. So I don't know, that's just how I grew up, but I like both sides of it. I like working, I like being home, so kind of torn too. I don't know.
Yeah.
What about you? Would you stay home?
Yeah, I would.
Would you be a stay-at-home dad?
Yeah, I would. I would. Do I prefer it? No. I obviously, as the man, I want to be the one out making money and providing and taking care of my woman and my children. But if circumstances were to the point where it allowed me to stay at home because your job was making more money, and it was a matter of an agreement where we discussed homeschooling our children and being the main influence in their life, like not having someone else around them more than us. So if it was a situation where you was making way more money than me and one of us had to let a job go, and I would do that and stay home. I would. In regards to you staying home, like that's something that we spoke about, something I wanted to. For our daughter to be just around you, growing up with mommy, being raised by mommy, rather. So don't get me wrong, it's definitely benefits to having a dual, household salary. So that both people, it's so many more benefits to it. But that's why I'm always, talking with her and trying to see what she want to do with it, because, she's a business owner, basketball trainer, but she does a whole lot of other things: design clothes, do hair, cooks great, different. So I'm talking to her and trying to see what is it that you want to do, as far as, okay, you stay at home, but we still can do a home-based business, something where you can still generate your own, to where, like she mentioned earlier, there's that pro and con type of thing to stay at home. Like, yeah, you get the benefit of being home with your family and raising your child and stuff, but as an independent person that she still wants to generate her own income. Like, she don't want to be dependent upon nobody. So I'm trying to find that happy balance to where she can do both. Like, have a home-based business and still be able to be home with our daughter.
And then we also butt heads a lot because although he does work on 9 to 5, he's more so against it. I'm not against 9 to 5s. I'm not against being an entrepreneur. Like you mentioned, I own a basketball training company, and then I've worked 9 to 5s, and I don't like or hate either of them. I think he pushes the being an entrepreneur on me a lot, but also my just my own experiences from that kind of deters me from doing that starting from the ground up process. So I don't know, we butt heads there sometimes, but it just, I don't know. What's the word I'm looking for? It's conflicting because I do have a lot of talents and there's a lot of things that I'm good at. And I know that things could be successful. It's just that starting process that you doing all this, putting all this time in, and there's no money there. That's my whole thing. But
and
yeah.
And that's fine. So I this is my logic on it. Like, if it was to where it was taking a while for the business to get off the ground, you wasn't generating no money, and you got to pay rent, you got to pay this, that, and the third, then yeah, I can understand it being a daunting process and being deterred from it. But when you have that freedom and that flexibility to where, yeah, I can actually do this with no pressure. Okay, so what? I don't make money for the first 2 or 3 months. Like, everything else is taken care of. I know my man he got that. So that should alleviate the pressure of, oh man, I'm not generating no money right now. Because I don't really care if you're not generating no money right now. My thing is, my whole thought process, and like she said, I don't like 9 to 5. You know, I do it because I use it as a stepping stone to get to where I want to get ultimately, which is owning my own and working for myself. I have a very big issue with trading my time for money to make another person idea or business flourish. So these CEOs that we work for, they were in a position too where they could either took a 9 to 5 or they could start their own company. And they started their own company. They had to start, you know, Chase. They had to start Tesla. They had to start Ford, GM, like all these, Microsoft, all these things had to start somewhere. And they could have said,
those people have money already though.
yeah. All right, so we go. All right, so let's go to Fubu, right? We know Damon John didn't have no money, so he had an opportunity where he could have been like, I can work a 9 to 5, or instead of giving 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week to this person, I'll put that into myself. I may not generate a steady paycheck every week, but eventually, the more hours in a day that you're putting into your own stuff, it's gonna, as long as you're consistently with it, it's gonna come into reality for you, because I'm a strong believer in law of attraction. So if you directing your energy in one area, then it's gonna manifest. So, you know, I just feel like she is very talented in a lot of areas. It's a lot of things that she can do. It's a lot of ideas that she come up with, and she bring to my attention that I like. But I just feel like she have the ideas, and then it's that, but she don't really want to do it type of thing. So that's where we bump heads at and conflicting.
Agree. But
we got one more question.
Yeah, we'll do one more question, and then at the end, I guess we'll open it up for you to ask us questions. Whatever questions we get back from you, we'll discuss in our next video. So what's this last question?
So the last question is going to be, what's one thing no one knows about you?
No one knows about me?
Yep.
No, we gotta do another question. Like, that no one knows?
That no one knows about you.
Nothing.
Okay.
What about you? You have something?
Nah, nothing I can think of. I have something that everyone don't know about me, but I can't say no one.
Same.
Yeah. How about you pick the last question, since I went through one? Or you can go to the next section too.
Let's see. We're going through some questions on the phone, just in case you didn't see it. This one, the kid one?
The movie. You know what I'm gonna say. You can go to another question. I just did because.
Which movie do you most regret wasting 2 hours of your life on?
Quiet Place. That shit was trash. That was trash, yo.
No, it was bad. But only reason it was super bad is because he bought it on Amazon Prime.
Yeah,
He
I
bought
spent
it.
$20 on it. Like, we watched the trailer. Right? Did we watch the trailer?
He could have rented it too, by the way. Renting was $3. Buying it was $20. And he bought it. And we watched it. And it was horrible.
Definitely was a waste of my money.
Yeah, so that one was a waste of time. Another one we just watched on Prime, Valerium or something like that, where they keep the house.
But it wasn't a waste of my time, though.
No.
It was kind of all over the place, but it was better than Quiet Place.
I think it was pretty even.
It was better than Quiet Place. But I was going to say, I thought you was going to say that John Henry movie with Ludacris and Terry
yeah, we couldn't even finish that. That was horrible. Oh my god.
I said, yo, who even thought about this?
No, that was bad.
Man,
the acting was bad. The actors, oh my god, it's crazy. If any of you saw the Kevin Hart, his new special out, we watched it. I don't think it was horrible. Like, I think sometimes I don't give him enough credit because some of the times he seems very corny to me, but he also is pretty talented, so I give him the benefit of the doubt. But it took us a good while to start laughing at the series. So tell us if you liked it. Let us know if you have any questions for us. We'll like to discuss it. What happened?
No, I was going to say it took me about 20, 25 minutes to laugh.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not going to lie, when Kevin Hart first came out, I was a huge fan of Kevin Hart. And when Kevin Hart first came out, I'm talking about Paper Soldiers. I don't know if any of y'all ever seen that, but that was his first debut movie, and I believe it was shot by Dame Dash and Rockefeller and them, because Beanie Siegel and Noriega, and it was a bunch of celebrities and people in this movie. And he was funny. He was hilarious in it. And it was my first time seeing him in it. I mean, seeing him in general. Like, it's my first time. So that was kind of funny. And from there, I was like, oh, I like him. Then, the little grown man, right? What was the name?
Something like that.
Yeah.
What's the thing?
Soul Plane.
I didn't like Soul Plane.
Even though but it was funny though. It was, regardless, it was funny to me.
I guess I'll watch it again.
And then later on, slowly, as he kept going, and the higher he climbed the ladder of success and the more financially established he became, just doesn't hit as funny as it used to. It doesn't hit as funny as it used to, and it's weird with me because, like, with Dave Chappelle, when Dave Chappelle first came out, I was not a fan of Dave Chappelle. I didn't think Dave Chappelle was funny at all.
We used to watch his show, everything.
Yeah, I was not a fan of Dave Chappelle. My older brother used to watch the Chappelle show all the time, every episode.
Because it was funny.
Whatever. But now I am, so it's like the reverse. I liked Kevin Hart in the beginning. Now he's not so funny to me. In the beginning, I didn't think Dave Chappelle was funny. Now the guy is hilarious to me. And Dave Chappelle also is very bold with his comedy, so I like
smart, intelligent.
I like the fact that he is one comedian that still says what he wants, and we tending to lose that because of how society is, and everybody's so PC and so offended by every little thing. That drives me crazy.
I guess we'll get into that in another episode. But again, thanks for joining us. Hope you liked this episode. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to let us know. We'll leave the email address. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we will see you soon. Thanks for joining us.
Take care.